Hey there, hypothetical guys. I just got an Aliene mariage clock to match my Noir Fleurir clock. Finally, after many, many years of trepidation. I'm not even certain that I used that word properly. What you're going to see now is a live, unedited opening of the Aliene mariage clock so that I can share with you the most amazing and most stupid packaging idea for a CD that's ever been created. So let's check it out, shall we? So I'm going to open the Aliene mariage clock. The first thing you have to do, keep in mind there's a CD in here. Like, I don't know what my camera's doing. There's a CD in here. Here's the CD. This is the actual album. It's Soiree, and it's behind the sort of the clock fingers, as it were. So to listen to the album, you have to get it out of the box and disassemble the clock. So what I'm going to do right now is I actually want to put a battery into the clock. And the Noir Fleurir one isn't quite as annoying because it has a digital clock. I also don't have a battery in that because it takes a button battery, and you can only get button batteries from the planet Marge Simpson, and my desktop is a giant seal baby. So let's take a look at getting this clock open. Let's see if we can get this guy out of the package. So the first thing you have to do is get it out of the box, which is easier said than done. So just very carefully, it's not to damage it. And this material is actually some kind of textured, looks like a car dashboard, actually. Looks quite a bit like a car dashboard. Slip it out of there. Keep in mind, you would have to do this every time you wanted to listen to the CD. I think I'm just going to rip the CD to my Windows Media Library and put the CD back in when I put the clock back together forever, and it will never touch a CD player ever again. Here it is out of the box. And so to get the CD out, these needles have to come off of the outside, and they just pop off, but they're kind of delicate, so you have to be sort of careful with them. Pop them out of there just one by one. So there's one needle. Get this other guy off of here. Two needles. Keep in mind the order in which they go, which I guess that's not that hard if you've ever seen a clock before. Here's number 3. Okay, so you've got the needles off. There is a kind of washer here. It's a metal washer, and that has to be unscrewed. So remember your righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Slip your fingernail into this little divot here, and just crank it like a proverbial soldier boy, and then it comes on out of there. So you've got your metal washer. Keep in mind the order of your needles. Needle 1, needle 2, needle 3, metal washer over there on the side. Then you've got a plastic washer underneath the metal washer. So plastic washer, help me remember, goes underneath the metal washer. That's over here. And then you can take your CD out. So CD is coming out. It's a CD. That's going to go into the computer, and I will rip that right now. Let's get it up for love. Okay, so there's the backing assembly, and we'll go ahead and play a little bit of Shimobe while I'm doing this. Sounds great. Oh, it sounds so good. Okay, let's go ahead and rip that. That's ripping right now. Okay, so this is what it looks like underneath. I'm sure you've seen it at this point. I've held it up several dozen times. Now what you have to do is get this out of there without taking it apart, because there are lots of other little parts on the inside of here. You have to remember where they go, and I don't want to do that, so I'm going to put my finger here, give it some support. Try and slide the midsection. Keep in mind this is a freaking box for a CD. Turn it over, wiggle it out of there without it coming apart. You can see here is the lyrics booklet that comes with the album. That slips in the back of here. We'll go ahead and take a look at a little bit of that. You have some nice pictures of the band. Wonderful stuff. That can go in the box. Then you have some instructions which tell you the order in which all of the components for the clock go. Okay, so here's our clock assembly. Trying not to let this thing fall apart again. Here's a clock assembly, and here's where the battery goes. So let's get a battery in there. Where's the negative side go? Is this the negative or the positive? I guess we'll find out. Something happening? Wait a minute, hold on. Turn it the other way. See if that makes a difference. Oh, no, positive, negative. Something be moving, or oh shoot, I just dropped the rubber washer. You gotta get the rubber washer on there. So get it all together there. Okay, keep in mind, in my spare time I work on cars, so if I can't put together a plastic and cardboard clock, then it's a little bit too complicated. Okay, so that adjusts the time, and I'm just waiting for that to rip. So we'll just take a minute, waiting for it to rip. Aliene Mariage, if you're not familiar with them, very interesting Japanese visual band from the late 1990s. They were on the Key Party label. Very interesting and colorful, sort of, you can call it a Spanish influenced style, or I don't know what to call it. Their style is very typical of Key Party, but the Key Party style wasn't typical at all. It was Key Party. Weird colors and like collages of stuff, feathers and bright red hair. It was like, I don't know, like a cranial sneeze explosion of fun. Okay, so that's done ripping. We're going to take that out. Please enjoy a shot of my neck hair. That's coming out. Okay, so CD's going back in. We've got a battery in the clock. Put the CD back. So here's our CD. The disc goes on top of the rubber washer. Get that nice and centered there. So he's all centered in. Center In is a brand of Japanese pantyhose. Not sure why I know that. The plastic washer goes on top of the disc, and then we put the metal washer in. Now here's the tricky part. The metal washer has to be threaded in. There's a little spline on the inside of here, so you have to fiddle with it and thread that metal washer in there. I haven't found an easy way to do this yet, other than just play with it, get it in there. Okay. Okay, look at the bottom of it, make sure orientation is correct. So CD vertically. Okay, here's the clock face. The orientation looks good. So let's get our hands back in there. You have the hour hand, and here is the minute hand. So hour hand, minute hand, second hand. And it's working. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, now all we have to do is get this biatch back together. So let's do that. First, let's set the time. What time is it? 3:15. Let's take a look here. So let's go backwards a little bit here. I know you're not supposed to turn the clock backwards, but let's imagine that looks like about 3 there. If 4 is, well, let's call that 3. So we're going to call that 3, and if it's 3:15, should be about there. Okay, does that look like 3:15 to you? I guess. So then we get it back in here without breaking it, which is easier said than done. Come on, get it in this box. Keep in mind this is the box for a CD. So there it is, all back together. Now we have to get this plastic thing back over top of it without disturbing the movement of the hands. There she is. Get it back together. There you go. Oh, it's beautiful. It sounds wonderful, and it's the stupidest CD box in the world. But I'll never open it again. It will sit on my shelf and be a treasure for years and years to come. I hope you've enjoyed checking out these wonderful packaging ideas for gifts for your friends and family from those wonderful people at Key Party. Thank you all for joining me. I enjoyed sharing wonderful times together with you hypothetical guys. Peace, peace.